Hello everyone, welcome to Physiotherapy in Lesotho, www.physioinlesotho.ch. You are listening to a podcast from one of our physio workshop in Lesotho. Your speaker is Thuso, W. Fasser, a qualified physiotherapist.
Wonderful, you have done a good job. We just put it a little bit together before we are going now to eat. We said, and I just want to bring again the 10-finger system of early neuro rehabilitation. You remember we had these 5 fingers, okay? So the 10-finger system of neuro rehabilitation, we said there is 3 steps of neuro rehabilitation. 1, 2, 3. Then when we assess, we are assessing and functional. So we have 5 fingers, okay? And then we have the other 5. We are assessing movements, perception. Now you had blown up perception. You were going into this perceptive development, a very important topic, and we are highlighting it this week. Then we have postural skills, coordination and balance skills, and the last, speech. Okay, so you have 10 fingers, okay? I would like to repeat every hour these 10 fingers today. In the evening, it will be in your body. You could see when you were dancing, afterward it came out. So it will be memorized in our body, in our brain, all over. The 10 fingers of early neuro rehabilitation. We'll get it in it. Now we open that finger of perception. We made it big. We have talked already a lot about movements and so on, speech. But now perception. I make you an example to help you to understand why it is so important to develop perception. You have seen children which could not hear, okay? Deaf children. How was their speech? Was it normal or somehow not normal? Okay. Why? These children, they cannot hear talking, the mother or the father or the sisters and brothers. They don't hear speech, so they cannot develop speech, because they don't perceive speech. So to become able to speak without hearing speech is very difficult. The same on movement. If you don't perceive the movement of joints, the posture, the way you move, muscle tone, if you don't feel that in yourself, it is difficult to develop movement. Therefore, if somebody is paralyzed, we are not only teaching him how to move, we help him to develop perception. And now I come back to that story of that young woman I met. She was half-side paralyzed, the half-side, face, arm, leg. She was maybe 25, 26 years old, not 30. She was married. And that house, she said to me, you know, now I can move, I can walk a little bit, I'm limping, I cannot really use my hand because I don't feel it, it's spastic and so on. I can cope with the problem of the loss of movement, and I trust I will become better. But I tell you what is my pain. Then I said, tell me, I listen to you. So that Aussie that told me, you know, my pain is that I don't feel myself. I cannot feel my part. And that pain makes me to cry. When I cuddle my husband, when I sleep with my husband, I want to cuddle him. I just feel half. It's so painful to me. So the loss of feeling, that's what we call the imperception, not feeling, was a lot of pain to her. So she cried, and then I was just listening to her to say, you know, now we have touched the ground of your suffering. But this is the starting point, because I can show you, you feel that you don't feel. You feel your imperception. It is not nothing. She could feel that she doesn't feel. This is the first step towards perception. When we have lost perception, we are suffering of feeling imperfection. But it is already a sensation. When I can feel, I don't feel my hand, then I understand I don't feel my hand. It is already a kind of perception. And accepting the pain she had, the fear that never will go away again, and so on, we said we were touching the bottom of suffering. So from there, then she said, feeling nothing is feeling in perception. That means I feel something. I said, yes, May, you feel that you cannot feel. This is the starting point of this perceptive development we have to do, the school of sensing the body again. So step by step. So we were working with the physio, with the work on the body, with movements and meditation and music. I did a lot of music and so on. That May, now she's 38 years old. She has 2 children. She had gone back to work. She can walk. She's even using that slightly paralyzed hand. And she has gone back to complete body feeling. She can feel the body again. And she said, I was so sad at this time when I just felt half and I couldn't feel my love again. And she got back to it due to years-long work on perception of the body. And remember, when you feel that you are not feeling, then you feel something. You feel the imperception. Isn't that a great story? It makes you understand how important is that school of sensing. And let's remember the deaf child which cannot hear, it cannot develop speech because it cannot perceive speech. The mouth is okay, the brain to talk is okay, here the throat to make the sounds is okay, but as it not perceiving, it cannot go into action of speech. So our patient with hemiplegia, they have a disturbed perception of themselves, of the movement of the joint, of the muscle, and this is one of the reasons that they have difficulty to develop movements. Therefore, we have to develop perception. This is the idea. So in this week, we highlight this perception development work, and we do. Now, there is another thing I want to say. In many cultures, we are not used to talk about what we are feeling, what we are sensing, how I feel my body and so on. It's not something of great interest. Maybe I ask, May Helena, how do you feel in your heart? So maybe I want to hear about her emotions. But I'm not interested how she's feeling, how she's sitting there, how she's feeling the feet, how she's feeling the breathing. I'm not interested in that. I may be interested on her feeling in her heart, okay? And then sometimes we are not used to talk about inner sensation, to talk about our inner life. Maybe to the very close ones, but sometimes not even that. I never could hear talking my father really about his inner psyche life. Or my mother was never talking about spiritual things. Even she's still a very spiritual woman. But that was somehow a secret of her. She was never talking about that. She never went to church. But she's really, really, really a woman of faith. But she was not talking about it, but you could understand. So sometimes we are not used to talk about inner sensation. Now we come to a person who has disturbed perception. Now we have to talk about. We have to go into touch, as with that Aussie who couldn't feel the half. And she was crying because when she was cuddling her husband, she couldn't feel him anymore. That was her pain. We had to talk about. And as we could talk about the perception, I could give her courage and say, look, you feel that you don't feel. And this is the bottom of your suffering. From there, we start to develop the perception. So we have to talk about. So now it's not so easy, but let's do as Melena was inviting us to do the effort of sharing. Every experience of you is unique, as Melena said. It's precious. It's something which makes us rich. Sharing experience, inner experience, becomes to a knowledge in the community, richness of our little small physio community. And we do, as Elena was saying it, cooperative learning. It's not only her or me teaching you, it's the sharing among us which helps us to learn. We call that think tank as well. It's like a basin, a tank, and we put all our thoughts and sensation in it to have cooperative learning, to develop a community knowledge. So on perception, we have somehow to break with the rules, and we have to start to talk about inner sensation so that we can follow the patient. We have to talk because you don't see it. The movements you can see, Hagar. If somebody is limping, you can see, hey, that man is limping. But the disturbance of perception you don't see. You have to talk. So we open up a space of trust and respect, a space of honesty to speak about perception and slowly to develop it. Today you have done the big step, a big first step. And when we say even the most longest journey starts with the first step, you have done it today towards this perceptive development. Now we will do it every day, and we will do that effort to go into it and to accept, to receive the sensation we have, and we try to do it in words. If it is difficult for you to give words to this sensation, don't mind, don't judge yourself. It is natural. Just do as that woman did. She said, I feel nothing. This is already a sensation. Or sometimes we say, I cannot give a word to that. I feel it, but I don't know how to name it. This is already a sensation. From there we go slowly up. Oh, look, Hilly, I'm happy for this morning. Now I think we really have earned the lunch. We go for lunch, and at 2 o'clock you come back, please. You can be dressed normally, or if you have the white shirt, the physio uniform, come in physio uniform, because we will do some patient work. We don't need a tracksuit in the afternoon. Ke a leboha, and have a nice lunch.